All right.
I was like, leave meeting. No, I'm kidding.
Yay. So I'm super, super excited to have my girls on today. So I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourselves.
Okay.
Who wants to go first? So all right, so I'll start off. So today we have two brujas, that's what I call them. They're my cousins, and they are probably one of the most supportive people in my lives. And a lot of times I don't even have to tell them what I'm going through, and they'd be like, oh, we already knew. Yep. So we have Desirae today and Dyana. Hey. Go ahead, and I guess let's start with Desirae. Desirae, share a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then we'll jump over to Dyana, and then I'll start diving into like all the fun questions.
Who am
interrogating y'all.
Oh my God. Okay. Who am I? I'm Desirae. I am, oh my God, I don't know. Let's see. I'm a Reiki Master Practitioner. I'm the owner of Finch Healing, LLC. It's a Reiki practice. I don't know. I'm a single woman who needed healing in my life. That, you know, I've been in education for 20 years, over 20 years. And I've dealt with my own anxieties and depression. And I needed a way to figure out how to handle life. And I decided to, you know, take things on my own and, you know, function that way, you know, there had to be a different route. I don't like medications. I don't like, you know, I have doctors. I go to the doctor. I do all of that. But I was like, you know, some things aren't working. I need a better way to help myself with my brain and things like that, especially with anxiety, depression and stuff. So I decided to take a different path. And that's it. I don't really know.
What is Reiki?
What is Reiki?
What is Reiki for the people who don't know? What is Reiki?
Reiki is it's, oh my God, it's an ancient healing practice. It's two words, it's Reiki. So Rei is universal, it's universal life energy. Everything is energy. So the practice of Reiki is basically helping you find a way that your body can heal itself. It's a technique to help you relax yourself so that your body can heal itself, if that makes sense. So as a practitioner of Reiki, I'm basically a channel for Reiki. I don't heal you, but I channel the energy from source or the environment or, you know, nature, science. It's basically quantum physics. Everything's energy. So I'm the channel from the universe to you. You know, you're in a relaxed state, and I basically am the one who kind of just directs the Reiki where it needs to go, the energy where it needs to go.
And makes you go poo-poo, because when I had Reiki done, it makes me go poo-poo.
You get a good old detox afterward.
It cleans, yeah. So essentially, it's like helping to clean, right? Like
it's similar.
To clear, right?
It can have.
For me, it was clear my stomach. Clearly.
It can have similar effects to like a deep tissue massage, which will usually have like a detoxing effect to your body. You know, some people develop fatigue or like flu-like symptoms after, because it's your body's natural way of like releasing those toxins. So that's why they always tell you, like, if you receive a massage, like a deep tissue massage, you're always told like, drink plenty of water, hydrate after. You could develop like slight cramping, or like don't overexert yourself after, because it's your body's natural way of detoxing. So that's similar with Reiki. Like, you know, you can, it doesn't always affect everybody that way. Sometimes it does, because they need to let that stuff out. Other people, you know, some people just have like a burst of energy. I know Diana's gotten these bursts of energy after I receive it. I'm tired after I receive personally. I'm just like, okay, I want to relax, and I'm so thirsty, you know. And other people, that burst of energy. Or some people don't have any sensation or symptoms at all. So it affects everybody differently, and it affects you how it needs to, and it goes where it needs to go. It doesn't do harm. It works alongside traditional medicine and traditional treatments. I still see my doctors. Like, you know, I suffer from migraines, and I'm on, you know, I still take my medications for my migraines, but I don't take them. I have a standard one that I take, you know, a daily but I haven't needed my onset migraine medication for 4 years.
Wow.
And I was getting migraines every day. I haven't had a migraine that's been like a normal migraine. Like I've had them weather related, like with the humidity and stuff like that. But I don't remember the last time I had a really bad migraine. And that's because I've learned how to like channel myself, like heal myself in that aspect of I have a different outlook on stresses. And, you know, when your body's at a higher vibration, it naturally heals itself, it naturally repels things away from you, because it's like those little things don't affect you the way that they do. So like I said, I still see my doctors, you know, but I don't need the other medications that I was on, or my dosages change, they're lower, they don't need to go up. It's, you know, so I completely feel like, okay, if you can have that option of Reiki or any type of alternative method of healing or holistic healing alongside alongside with your regular practices, because, you know, it's not, medications or traditional is not for everybody. And in reality, traditional is holistic because that's all they had before, you know? So it's kind of like, it works hand in hand, you know, not everybody's meant to, you know, deal with true medication because it affects everybody's physical self differently.
Can't hear.
You can't hear me? Did I mute?
No, Florida internet connection is out.
Oh.
So I only heard like the holistic part and then it went out.
Oh.
Will it be on the recording when you play?
No, I should be able to edit the recording once I download it. That's okay. I was like, I can't hear you.
And I saw it, but I was like, wait, I could hear you. Like I was able to.
Yeah, I was like, I hear her.
Yeah. No, and I heard her. So.
So I heard the last part was that it's holistic, and then it went out for me on my end.
Yeah, not people, you know, need to have different. A lot of people would rather do a holistic route, or holistic works better for some people because their natural, you know, DNA or how they are, their makeup doesn't work well with medications.
Right.
You know, I'm sensitive to medications. I have a lot of medicinal allergies. So for me, it's, you know, I need another route other than being on medication, you know. Bless you.
Bless you.
I didn't want to sneeze in your ear as you were talking, so I was like, let me mute myself.
You saw your head go.
I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. So we have Dyana, who is Desiree's sister, who does something kind of aligned, but a little different. So she does tarot, and she makes candles, and she does baños, and she could tell you, you could be sitting with her one day, she could look at you, she's kind of like a medium, you know, so she'll kind of be like, you need to not be doing this. I'm gonna need you to do this. And then you get all freaked out and don't want to sleep.
Oh, it went out.
Man, we can't hear you.
Come back.
Wait, well, now you're muted, so we can't hear you.
She is muted?
Yeah, now.
Oh, now it's muted, yeah.
Yeah, I muted.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was going on and on and on and on and
I know,
on.
we saw your lips moving, but nothing was going
like, we can't hear you. All right, so what was the last part you heard?
When I see you, if I sit next to you and I tell you to do this and that.
Oh, okay.
You freak out and you want to go to sleep at night.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to go to sleep at night because I'm like, yo, I'll be bugging out. I'm like, how does she know that? So she has a special gift. She has a special gift. This is not something that everybody has. And Dyana has tuned into this gift. So Dyana, tell us more about your gift. Talk to us a little bit about who you are, how you got into it, the name of your company.
Okay. So I'm Dyana. I am a medium. You know, I channel spirit. I speak to spirit. I see them. I've seen them my whole life. Just throughout my life, they've come a lot stronger than others. And finally, probably within the last 9 years or so, I've fully accepted my calling. And it's been a journey since then. I'm an espiritista, so a spiritualist. I work with my own spirits. I work with my ancestors. I work with my own spirit guides, and I do intuitive sessions, intuitive guidance sessions. I use tarot cards. I use oracle cards. I have a pendulum I use sometimes to divinate with spirit. But a lot of times they just talk to me, tell me or show me pictures. And it's just, I'm a channel to give you messages from your own spirit guides, or if my spirits have something to tell you, I'll tell you. And it's just basically giving people guidance. Sometimes, I believe everyone should go to therapy and do all of that, but sometimes you need guidance that's a little deeper, that can help put you on the path and have the life that you want and need. So in my spiritual journey, I started my own business, I guess. My own spiritual business is called Celestial Healing. And there I book all my intuitive guidance sessions. I make vigil candles. So if you have a reading and it says you need, a road opening work, abre camino work, then yeah, we could make a candle and do like a 7-day ritual type and try to open your roads for you, try to, over prayer and everything. I work in the light. Some people get scared that I do other things, and I don't. But at the same time, don't mess with me or mine. Don't sleep on me. But no, I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real, but I work in the light. My goal is to help you and to, going through spiritual awakening, especially, is very hard and can be traumatic. And I didn't have anyone to help me when I was going through those times. I kind of just helped myself or tried to help myself. And with time, things just came to me. So here I am. I've decided to go public with my gift and try to help who I can, and basically answer the phone that was ringing my whole life. So
I know with tarot, there's a stigma, and not everybody, right? But the vast majority of society believes tarot is kind of like black magic, dark, evil. And so a lot of people are afraid to do it. Mm-hmm. What would you tell someone who comes to you and is like, I've never done this before, I come from a religious background?
Yeah, I get a lot of those type of people. Almost everyone I do a reading for, they come to me scared. They come to me scared because they don't know what's going to happen. Tarot does have, or any type of divination, I feel like, not just tarot cards, any type of pendulum, people who throw shells, who throw bones, there's people that read tea leaves, there's so many types of divination that you can do with spirit. Just for me, the cards work for me, the pendulum works for me. That's how I speak to my spirits. It's just a form of communication. I've had people tell me, while getting a reading, do you believe in God? Yes. God is the first force that I pray to before I even speak to my ancestors. Amen. Before I speak to the spirits close to me. I thank God for everything. God is at the foundation of my practice. Tarot is just a way to speak with spirit. That's it. Just like a Ouija board. People, do Ouija boards. It's the same thing, but Ouija boards are very dangerous. That's a dangerous thing to play. You have to know how you're doing that. I won't even mess with the Ouija board. That's too strong. It's too much. But tarot is not evil. It's just, like I said, it's just a way of communication. It's just a way of communication with spirit to get your messages, to give you some guidance, to confirm some things that have been going on. A lot of times people have events in their life that keep repeating and they don't know why. And a lot of times it's a lesson that you have to learn to get out of a certain pattern so you can move on to the next thing in your life. But tarot, it's not evil. It's not, there are people that use things for darker intentions and darker purposes. Not over here. That's not what we do. That's not what I do. That's not how I was taught. But yeah, it's definitely more of a stigma. It's just a way of communicating. The same way you go to church and sit and hear, the pastor, whoever preaching, they're channeling spirit, right? They're giving you a message from God. It's the same thing. I'm just using pictures to talk to you. I'm using the cards to talk to you. It's the same type of energy, I don't believe you need to be in a holy place to speak to spirit. You talk to them where you are because they're always with you.
Yes.
So, and it's just to that conditioning that we have as, you know, people who grew up very religious. We grew up Catholic. We did all of our sacraments. We went to religion, you know, the religion classes every weekend. We did that. Our base is in Catholicism. And it just, I always felt church was not for me. There's more to it. You guys aren't telling me everything type of thing. And then as you know what I mean? And as and even, you know, me growing up, the things I saw were considered evil. So I stayed quiet. I stayed quiet for years because it was the devil, it was this, and no.
Because that's how you're raised outside of the home.
Yeah,
but little did we know that, you know, it was in our DNA. And, you know, I think having the father that we have, having the parents that we do have, because our mother always told us too, like, she would say, you know, be scared of what you can see.
Not what you can't.
You know, not what you can't, because a lot of times what you can't see is honestly what's gonna help you get through.
Yeah, she said, you know, don't be afraid of the dead, be afraid of the living, because
be afraid of the living
and hurt you.
Yeah, and that was always a big deal. And I think that too, like, even going to church and having to do all the sacrament, you know, we did all of that. We had to go to church on Sundays. We did our religion classes. Our mom always told us, like, you know, you have questions about the Bible, ask your father. He knows, but he knows it because he questions it. And he was that type of person that, you know, when we would be like, but dad, you know, that, and he'd be like, you know, this is what it says here, but you can, you know, and so we felt free to talk to him about a lot of what our questions were. And growing up and now coming into our own with our spirituality is realizing that the basis of the religions, all of the religions, the base of it is all the same, you know, and then every religion breaks off with their structure. And that, to me, and I know to Diana, and it's because of our dad, we have an issue with authority and structure. Like, it's just who we are.
Our generation has a problem
and it's
with
that
authority.
free, you know, you want free thinking, you want to be able to be, and I think it's also too, like, coming in as a soul and wanting to have a human experience. Like, you want to have free will, you want to be able to question things and know that, okay, well, wait, why? And not be ridiculed or judged and ostracized for your type of questioning or the question that you're asking, or, you know, like, and if somebody genuinely doesn't know an answer, for them to say, I honestly don't know, not to shoot you down and tell you, why are you asking that? You're evil for asking that. Oh my God, you have like, no, especially with the curiosity you have as a child to ask questions, like, you know, and I feel that we were raised in a home that if at a younger age, if we would have known the extent of where all of our gifts came from, it's, you know, certain things, we probably would have started our path a little earlier, because I would see things too. I feel them. you know, not to the extent that Diana does, but there's a lot of times when she'll see it and I feel it and I could describe exactly what she's looking. And she was like, but you don't, and I'm like, but it's different to me. It's, but I have a knowing of it. She sees it, and
I see it. I see it. I feel it. I smell it. They talk to me.
You know,
I dream things.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, for years, Elliot, my husband, and his little sister Veronica, which you guys obviously know, but I'm just saying their names for the public. They used to always say to me, oh my God, Liz, you have a sixth sense. And they'd be like, if Liz is feeling it or Liz is saying it, I believe it. And I'm just going to tell this really quick story. In 2004, we had a fire in our apartment. And we heard like the big boom, boom. And Elliot went to the front door. He opened it and the fire was in the door. It burned like his eyelashes, everything got like, you know. Singed. And he closed the door and he started screaming, there's a fire. We got to get out of the house. There's a fire. We got to get out. We got to get out. And I was like, I was making mac and cheese. I was like, did I cause it? I was like, there ain't no fire. There's not a fire. You're crazy. And then he was like, yeah, it's at the front door. And when I went to go touch the front door, the door was on fire. And, you know, I don't know back in the day, I got taught this with Dare. Like, if you touch the door and the handle's hot, don't open the door. I didn't burn my hand, but I could not open the door. And I saw my grandmother in spirit, who passed away when I was like 17, standing there and telling me, go back to the back room. And that was how we escaped. But in that moment, I couldn't process what was happening.
Yeah.
After the fact, when I sat down and I started talking to my mother was like, oh yeah, ever since you were a baby. And she tells the story how I was asleep and I started screaming, daddy, daddy, daddy. That night, my mom got a call that my dad got into a car accident. Mm-hmm. So my mother always knew that I had that gift, but I didn't. I never tuned into it. I never realized that our bodies, you know, like you guys also have taught me, like we're all energy, you know, and that was how I connected with energy. And that's how, you know, my angels have always kind of protected me. And but everyone has some sort of sixth sense, or, you know, that
of course
intuitive nature, and people just don't tune into it. The way we grew up, going back to what you guys were saying, kind of coming full circle, is that growing up, our culture taught us that that was God talking to us, that your intuition is God, and it is in a lot of ways, but it's the same thing when, you know, you're Catholic, or they pray to the santos, to the saints.
Yes.
Hold on one second.
Her face.
It's okay. I heard the door ringing and I'm like, who's at my door?
Okay, so we could hear you, but your picture's frozen.
Oh no. Am I back?
I mean, we could hear you.
Oh, now you are.
There you are.
Am I back? Hey. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, so going back, it's like they pray to the santos. My grandmother used to pray to the saints. And so it is all
so
connected.
Much stigma with that too.
Yeah.
Oh, so much. It's so
but that's what I mean. And I had someone say to me, like, oh, have you ever had your cards read? And, how do you feel about it? And I go, I take from it what resonates and I leave what doesn't. Sometimes the messages
that's the right way to go about getting a reading. Not the whole thing can be for you, and
sometimes it's not for you. Sometimes it's for the people in my husband, my kids, sometimes my friends. And I'm like, I don't think that was for me. And then I'll be with my friend and I'm like, oh, they were trying to tell me so I could be prepared for when this person came.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be the messenger,
Right.
It's happened.
Right. So how does Reiki and tarot, like, how do you guys work hand in hand together? Or how does that kind of go hand in hand? How have you guys used it to help others or to leverage? Like, how does that work?
I think,
how does it go together? I guess you could say.
For me, when I do readings for people, sometimes chakras will come up and they'll tell me, oh, your throat chakra is blocked. You're having some heart chakra issues. And Reiki is the healing modality for blocked chakras, pretty much. So when I get a client that needs Reiki, or just in general can benefit from energy healing, for me, I've had my own Reiki sessions. They've worked for me. So that's how I refer people to Des. And I do know other like Reiki practitioners, but I refer them to Des. And a lot of times they already know my sister. So they feel comfortable already. And it's kind of, I think it's just been beneficial as like, it's kind of like a 2-for-1 thing. For me, I feel like they get a reading from me and then also they leave with a referral for another type of healing modality that may benefit them. And, it's one of those things you don't know till you try. So I always tell my clients, try Reiki. Sometimes it works for you. It doesn't. If it doesn't work, then you get an hour of relaxing and taking a little nap on a table. If it doesn't, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just need that time to recharge. So for me, it goes hand in hand with my, it's just another healing modality to add to what I already offer.
Yeah. And she's referred clients to me who have come to me repeatedly. Like they saw her like one, she tells her clients, 6 months, give me 6, like, she's like, come back to me in 6 months, because with tarot, or with any kind of card reading, things happen and it's not always like right now. Sometimes it's in the future. And, so you need the time to process it and kind of understand it.
You shouldn't get a ton of readings back to back. That's no good.
No, and it's overwhelming information too. And spirit doesn't work that way.
You after a while, spirit won't answer you. Like you could go to a reading and they won't give any information, or they'll rip you and tell you like, we already told you this and you're not doing the work you need.
Yeah. But you want new answers.
3 to 6
why? Yeah. Like, why are you still looking? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So her clients in that time span will come to me for Reiki. And I've had a couple that were like, they would come to me once a month. And sometimes you have clients who just need one Reiki session once a year or once, every couple of months. You have some that would need it once a week. And I'm not saying an hour long session, but maybe they need a half an hour every week or every 2 days or because they need that cleansing, exactly, that little boost of just to help them through. And we don't discuss what happened with the client. She'll just give me like their name, like so-and-so, I'm referring so-and-so to you. So if they reach out to you, you'll know that they're.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll tell her what chakras came up blocked, like especially if one's come up multiple times. I'll tell her like this one, heart chakra, like.
And half the time,
what's going on?
When they come to me, I don't know what happened.
Oh wait, I can't hear you.
You're muted, Liz.
I'm muted. I said mine is always my head. Every time,
they're always knocking on you like, hello.
Yeah, hello. They're like, you need a break or
yeah. So, but Di'll tell me like that. She'll be like, oh, so-and-so, this client I'm referring, they had a lot of like throat or heart. And I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, when they come to me, I don't remember what the heck she said. I know she mentioned the name, but I'm like, all right, whatever. Because I'm going to connect too, because when they come to me, maybe that's not the actual healing that they need.
Yeah.
So usually before a client, we discuss things and they're like, oh, your sister referred me. And, I'm like, all right. And I have to ask permission as a Reiki practitioner. I can't just go right into it, because it's energy. So I have to ask permission from your guides and like the divine and the universe. And because it's energy and you need to know that it's going where it needs to go. So what happens is you're giving me your consent by booking the appointment.
Exactly.
However, I still have to ask permission. So, I always tell the clients, like, don't show up super early, come as close to the appointment time as possible, because I have my ritual before you get here. If I'm doing an in-person session or even a distance healing session, I have to connect. I have to cleanse my space energetically and I have to connect. I have to ask, get my guides ready. Like, okay, we're going to do this with this person.
That's what I think a lot of people don't realize too. It's a lot of work for us to even prep. Tune in to give you messages. It's work, and then it's work after. Too. You have to disconnect and cleanse you have to cleanse before, cleanse after, cleanse your space, cleanse yourself, do all of that. It is like a whole
process.
And sometimes it's like, so give your practitioner time to do their thing, because everybody preps differently.
Canceling last minute is awful because I've already tapped in. I've already tapped into. So now I prep. I ask my guides and my people, my core, permission. And I ask them for their assistance in this healing. Then I ask permission from your guides, and you're like, okay, listen, I have to ask permission. So-and-so is coming. Let any messages that need to come through for them, either to go directly to the person laying on the table, whether it's going to be now during the session or tonight when they go to sleep or the next couple of weeks, however the process needs to go. Or if you want me to be able to give them directly those messages, allow them to come through clearly so that it makes sense to them when I explain it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to make sense to me because it's not about me. It's about them. Then usually what I'll do is I always light, I always have a white candle lit because we're candle people. And I guess that's that bruja in us, that witch in us, where it's that candle magic, So I always have a white candle, but also too, it's before they come, I light little, like, I'm like, okay, what chakras need to be where? And I'll light, and I have a little plate and it's candle, and it's like, okay, heart. And I pull the can and I light them. That's the main. And then when I do the scan, when the client is in, it's like, okay, let's see, is that actually what came up? And a lot of times it is. One time I had a client come and I didn't have enough room on the plate for the amount of candles that they need. And I was like, okay, like,
oh my gosh.
Sometimes things come up before they get here. It's,
appointment with me, and it'll be like 2 days before, and I'm already getting messages, or it's like their appointment will be in the evening, and in that morning it's like they're coming, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like, sometimes some people are like more ready for it.
Yes.
And then they book it. A lot of people go back and forth. They don't book things like this till they're ready. Like, you have to be ready.
You have to be open to receive, right?
Open
That's like
to
the
receive
concept. You have
whatever
to be open and to
information.
receive. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are afraid of that. I mean,
Yes.
that's just the impression that I've gotten just from a couple of people that I've had the conversation with. You know, I come from a family, I mean, from when I was a baby, everyone always wears the evil eye or the
Yeah.
hasma hand.
Mhm.
You know, it's just it's embedded in the Puerto Rican culture. I would say probably most of Latin America for the most part.
Or even like Italians have some. I think
Italians,
pepper.
it's
They have like some type of something.
yeah, and the rabbit foot,
Rabbit foot.
you know, yeah, for protection. You know, so this goes back to, you know, ancient,
And
centuries of time. And sometimes people will see it and they kind of, you can tell that they yeah, like they
makes them
get
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. Yes. And for me, I'm so accustomed to this, I don't see the evil in it. And I'm just gonna state this for the record, is that anything that you do, if you're doing it with an evil heart, it's evil. Anything that you do that's good is going to be good. It doesn't matter what it is, because I have gone to different kinds of churches that are different religions.
Oh yeah.
And some church people are not the most Christian-like, right?
Yes.
And they will preach the Bible, and that's not what the Bible states. So this is
correct.
And I say all this to kind of bring it back to the spirituality part. It's the same thing with this. And I think that culture is moving that needle forward with our generation, and just kind of being like open and flexible. And
also too, it's especially as not even just Puerto Ricans, but Caribbean, anybody Caribbean, like it's in our roots, you know, it's in our DNA. Like if you come from the Caribbean, you're, you know, most likely you are indigenous more than anything, because those are the people that were there first. And it's like we have such a mix of different spiritualities, different cultures, and we got to kind of, now in this generation, it's coming out more. People are learning more about the roots of where they're from. Yeah, so it's a collective awakening. COVID and 2020 ripped everybody open. And it's like, it's a calling back to basics. It's a calling back to your roots. And since I have started my own practice of ancestor veneration and finding out like where I'm from, what they practice, it has changed my life in so many ways.
Absolutely.
So I tell everybody, no matter where you're from, wherever your DNA leads you, you know, try to find out their culture and their spiritual practices, because it's in you somewhere.
And it'll make sense for you. Everything about your life will make sense for you. Like I recently, I would say like 2020, during, you know, everything that was going on, I started researching more about our roots and our family, and like just in learning more about the Puerto Rican history and culture. Our ancestors used to communicate with each other through music. That's how they would deliver messages from they would do, you know, these rituals, and they would do the songs, and that's how messages would get delivered to help save one another from slaves and
the slave trade. They would warn other plantations
that they were coming, so that they could prepare, you know. So it's just so interesting, because even with our music and you know, all of that just ties into this, and I think it's beautiful, which is why like I'm like such a huge supporter of the two of you. Des, I wanted to ask you about the distant healings and how that works, because with COVID, now that you touched on that, Diana, I know that bringing people into your space probably isn't the most like your favorite thing right now, because so Des is like Liz. We're very like paranoid and OCD.
Don't
touch me, like get away, don't breathe on me, I don't want
See,
like,
Diana,
I like the 6 feet apart thing, you know, at the stores.
Diana's more like Elliot. She's like, whatever, like give me a hug, bitch. She's like, come here, give me a hug, and I'm like, COVID.
And I'm all about that
anyway.
Please, I like contact. I am a contact person. I do need to touch. I need to be, you know, but I'm selective about it, because I always have been. No, but Diano's too. Like I love my people who I love, and I want to be around, and I want to touch you, and but wait, I'll be like, oh, okay, like I'm sensitive to energies too. But that's
so how does a distant healing, how does that work? Have you found it to be effective?
I receive my own distance healings from my own Reiki master, that's how I know it works, because a lot of my sessions that I received as a client of Reiki were through distance healings. You know, I've had I've had maybe three or four in-person sessions. And I've had like 10 to 15, 30, you know, like 10 to 15 major distance healing sessions. And then my Reiki master does these little boosts here and there. And I've had like 20 of those. I've been part of those where it's been for the collective, or we've had 10 practitioners from all over with 110 people receiving. And it works because Reiki is energy. And that's why it works. It's similar to electricity, Wi-Fi, cell phone, like that whole radio frequencies. It's basically the same thing. That's energy. That's a frequency. So Reiki is energy. It's a frequency. What I do then for a distance healing as a practitioner, when you become a Reiki practitioner, which is level 2 Reiki, you learn different symbols on how to connect to Reiki and how to channel it. And one of the symbols that you learn is the distance symbol. So it basically can connect you as the practitioner to Reiki in the past, present, and future, because Reiki knows no time. Mm-hmm. Reiki knows no distance. It's everything. Yeah. So as the practitioner, what I would do is like, okay, I've held sessions with you, Liz, in Florida. I've held sessions with people in California. I've held like all over. Yeah. I channel it basically. I ask you where you are. I have your name. I do the symbols. I connect to you the same way that I would connect if you were here. You know, I have to ask permission and whatever. But then what I do is prior to the session, before we actually connect because I usually do my sessions through Zoom if we're doing a one-on-one distance healing. So that way you could at least see me and know what the process is. I've had people who just don't know. They're like, okay, you're going to tune in at this time. You're going to lay down and relax and we're going to connect. Okay. And it works.
And that works for them.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works for them. Yeah. And that's fine. I get that. But a lot of times too, you want to know what's actually happening at the time and talk and know what's going on. So it's the process of the symbols that I do, and that helps me connect to you through the distance. So at that point, since you're on the other side, I use my body as your channel, like as the surrogate, basically. So I would use there's a scan if we were in person that I would do on your body to see where you're blocked. I do that scan on myself, but since I've already connected it to channel as you, it's there. And you being on the other end of it are relaxing. And then I would send Reiki to certain spots. You can feel tingling in certain areas, warmth, heat. You'll see the visions. You'll see I've had it where I've been a recipient and it wasn't through a Zoom call or anything. And I've been laying on my couch and I know it was like 45 minutes of this. And I've cried my eyes out. I've had tingling in my toes. I've had, like twitching in my left hand. I've had, so you do feel it, and then it was like miraculously, when it's over, like you just kind of come back. But with me in that session, like I bring you back the same way that I would bring you back, if you were in an in-person session.
So it's kind of like, I'm gonna go all the way back to the 90s. I'm about to show my age when we were kids and we would take the batteries, the positive and the negative, and that little static.
Yes.
Yes. That energy.
That little
yes. Like, remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I don't know why. That was so satisfying when I was little. Any magnet that I would have, if you put the two magnets together.
Yes, and trying to
force, That's
so exactly I'm using that to like kind of like, I guess, a metaphor to kind of like articulate,
but that's how,
so people can visually understand.
Yeah,
like what you're doing with your hands. Because for me, I mean, and you can tell me if I sound crazy, that's kind of how I felt when you were doing it, when you did my first Reiki session. Was kind of like that, like it would get hot.
Mm-hmm. And see, you had an in-person session first, and then we did the distance healing.
And this was when you were first starting.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't even now, level 2 yet.
Yeah, imagine
it shaking.
Oh, so I should probably mention they are located in New Jersey. The three of us kind of neglected to mention this.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, everyone do.
So FYI, we just they are located in New Jersey, but they can do Dyana can do her tarot cards through Zoom with you. Yeah, virtually. And so can Desirae as far as the Reiki sessions. Yes. So you guys can definitely
travel.
Yeah. No, I mean, she does pop-ups. Yeah. She does pop-ups. They definitely can. So let everyone know really quick where they can find you guys as far as your website, your social media handles. And I'm also going to tag this at the bottom of the description, but just let everybody know kind of where they can find you for your services, because I'm sure people now are going to be like, oh, I kind of want to try this.
Go ahead, Des.
All right. Well, on Instagram, I'm at Yellow Finch Healing, all one word. And through there, you can just see, I post regularly. I try to post regularly with that, but I also have my website is finally live and active, and it's yellowfinchhealing.com, all one word, like the bird, Yellow Finch Healing. And I actually am offering for Sunday, August 8th, from 9 to 10 o'clock at night, a distance healing, so that you can sign up through Instagram. There's a link in my bio that you can sign up with, like a Google Sheet, and you just sign up. It's $8.88. It's a distance healing for an hour. I ask for your email, and I send you any intuitive messages that come up through the healing. And anybody who knows me knows that I take that seriously. It's usually like a novel when those things come through, but I try to break it down.
Yes.
Because it's true. It's what comes through may not be for you. It could be for somebody else or whoever else is in that group, or it could be for time, in the future. But I try to be as detailed as possible. And that's not just with distance healings. That's even when you have a one-on-one. I try to be as, whatever comes through, throw it at you at the moment, but then I try to email it as well. So that's where you can find me on Instagram and on my website.
Okay. My IG is at Celestial Healing 111, 3 ones. And there's a link to the website on my bio on the Instagram page. The website is www.celestialhealing.com. And there you can book all my intuitive guidance sessions. You can purchase candles. I have packages where it includes a reading and a candle, or a reading and a spiritual bath. I do spiritual head washes. I do home cleansings. I'll be adding that to the website, but you can always just email the website if you have anything in particular that you need help on, you need guidance, you think you need a certain type of bath or whatever. There's always customization is always available, because not everyone needs the same type of services. Not, everybody needs a cleansing, but certain people may only need their head cleanse, may need their home cleanse. There's different things, but you can just check it out on the website. All the information's there. And sometimes I do readings on IG. Hopefully we'll be doing more of those, but
yeah, her last IG live was insane.
I didn't think it would go that long.
It was really good.
It was really, really good, because like as she was on the live and she was doing the reading and people popped on, she was like, who is this person? Is this person still here? And then it, like, I guess there's like a lag, but she would start saying things. The person was like, oh my God, I'm here.
It's true. Yeah, that live is actually posted on the IG. It's like 90 something minutes. If you have the chance to watch it, maybe you might get a message out of there that somebody may need to hear. Who knows? But yeah,
so on there. I did have a couple more questions, but it's for Dyana. I know. I already interrogated Des, so I got to interrogate you just really, really quick before I let you guys go, because I know you guys are busy. But what is a baño? Can you tell us a little bit about the baño and the head cleansing that you just mentioned? I know we talked a little bit about the tarot, a little bit about the stigma, but can you talk to us how you got into doing the baños and what those baños are for?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I started my path on Espiritismo, Puerto Rican and Cuban Espiritismo, a staple in that practice is doing head washes, spiritual head washes. It kind of goes hand in hand with Reiki. And Reiki, there's the crown chakra, which is above your head. And that's what connects you to source, to God, so when you're praying, that's what's open. A lot of times that area, your crown or your corona, can get dusty. It can get dusty. That's where a lot of, negative thoughts, if you're going through a lot of depression, anxiety, stuff like that, a good head wash is good for you. There are different types. It depends what the person needs, but a very common one, and one that I do on myself, is a white bath or a white baño. And baño is just a Spanish word for bath. It's just for those that don't know. And it's just like, I do my baths where it's just over your head. You don't need to soak in them because they're very potent. Like, you shouldn't soak in them. Even before you pour it on your head, I tell everyone, dilute it with water. Like, I have a big cup here. Hold on, I could show you. Like, you get a cup, you fill the baño like this much, and then the rest with cold water. And basically you do your shower, like your normal bathing routine. And at the end, it's going to be cold. It has to be cold. That's the way it works.
Wait, what do you
cold.
fill it with?
The bath. Like, I give you, like, on my website, all right, I sell the bottle. You should get it's about a 16 quart, like a mason jar. And that should last you, I always tell people, minimum 3 days, like 3 nights in a row for you to really feel the effects. It really, the white bath especially, it's for like head fog, brain fog, depression, anxiety. It helps you sleep. I always tell people, do baños at the white bath, especially at night.
Does it make snoring go away?
Snoring? You know what? You might be so in a deep sleep that you might.
Because I might need that for Elliot.
Maybe I'll make you a bath and put that intention in there. Be like, he's going to stop snoring, okay?
Oh my God, he's going to kill me. Sorry, babe.
But yeah, you do the bath. Okay, you got a cup like this out of the let's say this is the mason jar I give you, full of white bath. Don't drink it. It looks like coquito for those of you. It looks like
drink. Disclaimer: it's not to drink.
Do not drink. No. And you fill your cup with, like, from the baño, the jar, like maybe halfway, the rest with cold water. And you go into the shower, you do your regular routine. And then at the end, before you get out, I always say a little prayer, what I want the baño to do, what I need it to do, help cleanse me of, whatever negative thoughts, whatever you're going through. You pour it right over your head. I do a little on my head, and then I do some on my shoulders, and you just kind of and get it off. And you have to air dry. Do not towel dry. You air dry. And then I always send instructions too with the baños, but afterwards you wear light colors to sleep. And you should really, if you have like a white handkerchief, cover your head and you go to sleep. And then the next morning you can just shower how you need to.
So I'm super Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
You go to bed with your hair wet, you're going to get bronchitis.
No, you're not.
You're not.
That is an old wives' tale. And this is like a spiritual thing it has to stay on your head. And it works while you're sleeping. So it'll like clear out your crown. It'll clear out your head.
Fog.
And especially too, when it runs the back of your neck too is a spiritual portal. People don't realize a lot of energies can attach to you from the back of your neck.
That's called the alta mejor.
There you go.
That's what it is. That's where your key. Yes. That's very big.
Next to your brain, that's your brain stem right here.
La alta mejor.
That's a big energetic portal. Like people, things can attach that way. So also too, when you do the bath, it's also good. Let it run on the back of your neck. I let it run off, head down, try to just clean it off, air dry, or you can fan yourself till you dry.
shake a lot.
Shake it out. But try to always go to bed with, after you do it, light colors and something light on your head. Don't wrap your head in black. Just light colors and sleep on it. And then the next day, you just rinse it off. It's like an energetic soul, like a soul cleanse. Sure. And it helps detach. If you have any negative energies attached to you, it kind of helps cut it off. That's why it has to be cold.
I went through like a weird thing and I had major brain fog. And it was like, I told Di, I was like, I can't, like, it was a depression. It was and she was like, I'm going to make you a white bath. And I couldn't sleep. I couldn't, and it happened like within a day. And, we knew, Di and I, it was just this whole big thing. My soul it was a lot. And she did the white bath for me. And, me trying to be slick, I didn't want to use cold water in the thing, but you know what? You put it, the baño's in the fridge anyway, because you got to keep it cold.
You have to keep it cold in the fridge.
So I try to use, like not warm. Super cold, not warm water, just room temperature.
Yeah, it's still cold.
And it's still cold because and then you have it sitting out, like it's not in the shower with me and I'm taking a normal shower, right? And it's sitting in the cup waiting and I'm like, okay, well, it's going to sit there. So it's going to be room temperature. No, that was like pouring ice down my body.
Yeah. It's because of what's in there. It's mostly colognes, holy water.
Yes.
I put egg in it, an egg white, coconut milk, stuff like that. And so it's all the cleansing agents and they have
and then it's cold.
Yeah, you keep it in the fridge because
so no matter how much you try to, it's still gonna be cold.
I even tell people, take it out. Like if you're gonna do it that night, take it out in the morning. It could sit out, but it's still going to be cold.
Yes.
And you still have to you have to dilute it with cold water. That's the best bet.
And that was, but it's still
the best way to cut all those ties that are on you and what's called.
And it worked.
The head.
It worked. I slept amazing.
Well, and one of the things I want to kind of point out is that, Diana, you just touched on it, is that everything that she uses for this comes from the earth.
Yes.
So, it's not anything that it's uncommon or that we don't already use in our life, again, I really do believe our generation is moving that needle forward, kind of going back to the way it used to be back in the day is, all natural, basic. Anything that grew from the ground that comes, from the earth.
All our ancestors had was like dirt and, candles or, fire and water from the river. That's all they had. That's why a lot of practitioners, you got to be careful too on social media because people are glamorizing spiritual practices, and it's not always like that. Sometimes it gets dirty, it gets rough, but at the same time you see these altars with people, everybody has their own way to do their thing.
Sure.
But a lot of times you don't need all that extra fancy stuff. All you need is a candle and a cup of water. That's enough to pull energy and do what you have to do. Or if you can't afford to go to a botanica, go to the dollar store, go to ShopRite and get it doesn't need, I'm a witch on a budget.
Yeah.
You don't have a candle. You don't have a candle, light a crayon.
Again, we are energy. That's the thing, is that we are energy. You girls know this most about me, is that I'll go to the beach and I'll just sit there with my feet in the sand, just with the ocean breeze, and I just close my eyes and I just that's
just
all it
takes. Yourself in the ocean is enough to cleanse you. Like people have to get back to nature, back to basics, because it's the intention. Our ancestors.
It's the intention.
Stuff.
Right. It's the intention, but it's all from the earth, and so I needed to kind of throw that out there.
And that's what a lot of people need.
Yeah. So I've been asking everybody who comes on, Pass the Mic with Kamali, to close out with one word that they would either say to their younger selves, like what would you tell your younger self, or a word of inspiration for someone who is looking for hope and inspiration or clarity.
One word? Oh, man,
just one word. Yeah, just one word. So I can tell you guys, we've had, Elliot said faith. Another person had said consistency, perseverance. I mean,
I got my word.
What's your word?
My word to my younger self is commitment. And it's commitment to yourself.
Oof.
To me. Because I was always, and still, it's still a practice. I'm constantly, for everybody else, I'm my longest relationship. I'm the one I spend the most time with. How am I going to commit to everybody else and I can't commit to myself? Hello. Yeah. That's my word. That's my word. You need to be able to commit to yourself before you try to commit to somebody else.
Amen.
Commitment to you.
Ashe.
To you.
I got my word.
What's your word? What's your word, boo?
My word is, I thought about what always comes up too with readings for people, and even for myself, because I even get messages in other people's readings. The word hope. Hope. You have to have some type of hope that things will get better, that you are guided, that you are protected. I feel like if we don't, especially as humans, or being in this human experience, that's all we have sometimes is hope. Look at everything that's happening in the world. these Cuba, Haiti, you know, like everywhere, all this war, but these people and the people who are going through it have the hope that it will change and that they will be heard, and that, you know, we're resilient, you know, and just hope, like Pandora's box, all that she let everything else out into the world, but the last thing she closed was hope. So we all have our own Pandora's box, and we all have that bit of hope, and you just hold on to that for dear life, because it's going to get better and things will work.
Yes! Hooray! I love you girls so much.
I love you.
We love you too.
For doing this. Guys, please toggle over, support my girls. You know, they are, the two of them, I can say, are definitely stepping out on faith and hope and committing to themselves, because if anybody's had to listen to them say, I'm scared, bitch, it's been me.
Yes.
Bitch, I'm scared. It's been me. And that's an inside joke. But, you know, and they always tell me, you guys know, I'm like the queen of risk taking. So I mean, you can't come to me and tell me you want to do something, because I'm gonna be like, do it.
Yes.
And I'm just so proud of you guys.
We're proud of you. I want to tell you, while I have you on, thank you for opening this space. Thank you for always just being an inspiration. Whenever you don't even know how big of an inspiration you are, and what you're doing, and the light that you're spreading, and the love that you're spreading. Like, it's part of your calling. Like I've told you, you're meant for so much. And I'm appreciative of the space that you're holding for people, and people of all different walks of life. And keep going. You know that already. They got you. You are so protected, girl. Just keep going and
make me cry.
Yourself. But I want to say thank you for, you know, and always being there, and always holding space, and always motivating. Yes. She is you're one of my biggest motivators.
Yes, and supporters. Always.
Yes,
always.
I listen. Always.
We
and
always
forever.
go back and forth. Like
I love you guys.
Whenever we need somebody, you know, you're there, and when you know that when you need somebody, we're there for you.
Oh my God, 100%.
Back and forth. Like that's just what we are, and that's too. It's even in our services. It's like, you know, we have people all the time that listen. Oh my God, and it's like okay, let's just give me a minute. Let me get together. But that's just who we are too. It's in us. It's our natural. Because Liz, you know that's how you are too. People are just
natural healers.
Natural healers. You're that light, so people automatically are like, yeah.
So and they be sucking the life out of us.
We gotta learn our boundaries, but you know,
never know.
It is not for the weak.
I thank you guys. I love you girls. I'm so proud of you. Keep going. Do not stop. Do not stop. And then like just one more thing. Des has an animal totem book. So if you ever see animals and you want to know the spiritual meaning,
hit her up.
Just hit her up. She's got the Bible. Oh my God.
And I don't think